looking to see Keontae Walton, Damian Hunt. Any those guys? What's their status?
Yeah, Keontae Walton will not be on our team any longer for medical reasons. Awesome young man, had some surgeries and some challenges, and so he'll be taking medical.
And with Damian Hunt?
Damian Hunt, for personal reasons, will no longer be on the team.
With TD Roof, is that a hardship thing? Can you kind of walk us through why he was?
We made an appeal, and that's one thing. You talk about transfers, and there's an appeal process that you go through, and we felt like we had a good case, for him, and so we made the appeal, and our compliance office did a tremendous job of being thorough, and one thing I will say, Georgia Tech cooperated as well, and they did what was best, for a young man. And so I just think it's a great decision for him. It's great for us. And I got the news a couple days ago, man. I was pumped. It's exciting. And he's really fired up.
I know you asked about it a little bit in there, but him and Damian having all the snaps under his belt, just how much in your mind is that boost of position? I know that you've always talked about as being really important for you.
I just think that it's significant. Anytime you bring young men back that have played, you can't put a price tag on that experience. And I think that just the confidence that they bring to the room. I watch, Damian as he interacts with our players. We had all of our players over at our home the last couple of weeks in different intervals, different groups, and when he was there with the linebacker, you can just tell. He has that personality. They follow him. He's a tremendous leader, and he's just played, And then TD, same thing, as a freshman in the ACC, he was on all 4 special teams. He made a bunch of tackles for them, and then just seeing him in the spring. So I just think that you add those 2 guys, and there's a whole bunch of other guys that are young that are waiting to play as well, and that they're going to have to fight and compete and claw and scratch to get that playing time. But I know as the head coach of the program, I feel a whole lot better.
Tom, with gambling becoming legal, is this a larger challenge for you with the players?
I just think it's really about educating our guys. You got to do a great job of just helping them understand what that situation can create for them, and really do a great job of making sure they see the big picture of all of it. And at the end of the day, life's about choices. They don't have to make those choices. Whether it's gambling or whether it's what they choose to do when they're away from us, that's a big deal. And as a coach, we're going to have the discussions about, as a conference, with injuries, reports of all that, and we'll get that all figured out. I think as long as it's all equitable and everybody's held to the standard of following it, then I'm good with all that.
I guess, is that something, the injury reports and that element of it, that I don't know if you'd say embrace, but that you'd be comfortable with?
I would, but I think it's what I mentioned. I just want to make sure that it's enforced, everybody does it the same way, because it's obviously, when you look at, there's 2 variables that really go into, people deciding what the game may be, and that is the home field advantage and injuries. And so to me, the injury part is a big deal. That's why the NFL puts a lot of time into it and has strict guidelines for that. And so those guidelines, I'm sure, will filter down to collegiate football. And once they do, we got to make sure that it's a system that we as coaches follow, and nobody has a competitive advantage over another coach or another program.
Does it make it feel more like it's just to me it feels like most professional sports. There's so much coverage. You guys are building a facility and then throw that in there too.
Yeah, I just think, and I tell this to parents, I say, when you think about major college football right now, the amount of money that's involved in the things you mentioned with the facilities and the coaches' salaries and then the pressure to win, and yet these guys are going to school to get their degree and play college football. Most of these guys are not going to be playing in the NFL. And so we got to remember what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I think that's my job as the leader of our program, to make sure we stay grounded. And it's very important, and there's a lot at stake for sure. But it's not life and death. And we're teaching young men to be men and be leaders of their homes one day, leaders on the job one day, and be men of character and merit class. And that's what I believe at the end of the day, that's my ultimate job.
Coach, you have pretty good evidence that Nick Westbrook is back to his old self. And what does that mean?
It's big for us. I love him as a person, love him his work ethic has just been off the charts, and I'm just so happy for him to see him run and cut and plan. Obviously you got to get out there and trust it, in fall camp. He was in there in spring with a blue jersey on, so he wasn't being touched. But he was planning and cutting during the spring. So from everything I see, he's 100%, and so now he just got to go play and go do what God's gifted him to do, which is catch footballs.
Donovan Hale.
Yeah, I tell you, Donovan Hale has really progressed, and we've had a great plan for him this offseason to get him right, and he's followed the plan, and he's he looks as good as I've seen him look since I've been around him in regards to his health of his knee, and excited about his progress, and he'll continue to grow in that. And so I just think that you get those two big receivers that we desperately need.
You mentioned wanting to avoid fatigue late in games. Is there an ideal snap count that you're targeting for starters? Or I guess what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, we were getting into 80s for guys, and plus more than that for some, and that's just, it's too many, And like I said, I'm not trying to state anything other than the facts. And the facts were we had too many guys play too many snaps, especially on defense last year. And those guys were also on special teams. And so I just feel like that, you kind of get, it used to be you wanted to play 50-some snaps on defense, So I think realistically a guy can play in the 50s or 60s, and still probably be okay. And that counts special teams. But you're going to see us play a lot more guys on defense. You're going to see us play more guys on special teams. And with this new rule, the redshirt rule, I think will help with that as well. But to me, that was, of all my evaluations in the offseason, that's the one glaring thing that kept coming back up was depth and how that affected us negatively in the fourth quarter.
How can you talk about a little bit there? But how can you use the new redshirt rule? I mean, do you target just like guys for certain games?
You're going to have to, because the bottom line is you got 4 games, and whether you got 12-game seasons, so you got 4 games windows, and so it's not going to probably be clean that one guy's going to play 4 games in a row, and this guy plays the next 4 games in a row. But you have to have a plan for who's going to be on special teams and who's going to be playing on offense or defense in that same game. And the issue that you're going to have is if you don't have that planned out ahead of time, they won't get enough reps to be ready to play. And just playing them just to play them really doesn't accomplish anything. I want to be ready to play. And so during fall camp, we have to target the guys that we want to have in this pool. So we're going to have a pool of guys that we're going to say these freshmen are going to be candidates for this. Some guys, they're just going to have to play. And we're not planning on redshirting at all. And so there's a few of those guys. And so, but the ones that we would have maybe redshirted, now we're going to have a chance to play them when they're ready to play, and as many snaps as they're ready to play in that given game.
For a position as important as quarterback, let's say, for something like that, would you bank a game maybe, like for insurance, just say?
I think you have to. Yeah, I think in a position like that where those are season-defining situations that could occur. You don't want to burn a guy's opportunity when you get late in the year and you got nothing left. And so to me, I think that's absolutely true for that spot. Maybe not the case for every position, but definitely quarterback.
Without giving away any secrets, just how does that rule change your evaluation process during fall camp as far as, before you didn't have those 4 games and you probably maybe decide sooner with some guys for redshirting?
I think that it's like any new rule. We'll see. Time will tell how it all plays out. But I will say this: I think that it's so good for the players. I just noticed the way they approach it. And they're fired up. They're like, they realize that they're going to have an opportunity to play. And because there's several guys come in thinking that, I never want a kid to say, "Hey, I'm going to redshirt," but they kind of see the writing on the wall as things unfold throughout fall camp. So now they're going to stay engaged, which is huge for us. So I just think that a guy may be on the scout team, but that doesn't mean he's definitely going to redshirt for the whole rest of the year. And so to me, I just think it just elevates everything. But we gotta have a great plan as a staff.
Coach, get time for one more before you guys go.
Depth chart at this time of year doesn't mean a whole lot, but I did notice Isaac James was listed at corner. He was at Husky all during spring. Is that a change that you?
Well, here's how we did that. To me, the Husky position, he's still going to be that guy in situations. Okay, and so we had to train him because there's so many components to playing that position. So we used the spring to really get his feet wet with that and get him grounded as a Husky. So now we're going to move him to corner, where I think is probably his natural position. But in situations, he'll be a situational Husky. And so that gives us tremendous flexibility with his coverage skills, and then obviously gives us a bigger, stronger, and he's one of our faster players. He's one of our best athletes from top to bottom on our team. And so I just think that, for me, you can never have enough corners. And I'm excited about his move there. Actually, something that he came to me a while ago about wanting to play corner. And so, but it made a lot of sense. That was kind of part of the plan as we moved through spring ball, and now we got him ready to go full-time at corner, and then we'll slide him back to Husky when we need him.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.